Well, hello and welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and see what we can get into. A little bit of Art Bell, and we're going to pick up on for three, which premiered February 27th, 1988.
Welcome to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from March 4th, 1998. From the high desert and the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening or good morning, as the case may be, wherever you are, and that is many places, actually, from the East and Hawaiian Islands out west to the Caribbean eastward, U.S. Virgin Islands, morning of St. Thomas, south into South America, north, all the way to Poland, worldwide on the internet. This is Coast to Coast AM, I'm Marcel. Well. Let me tell you what's coming up. Tonight, in about an hour, the man who actually coined the name Operation Stargate, the government's official remote viewing program, Bill Bryant is going to be my guest. Bill has an office that helps out remote viewing. He is, in fact, a remote viewer and was an administrator for remote viewers. Next up, we'll get another angle on remote viewing. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a very interesting guest. And his name is Bruce Ross. Now, he just wrote a book called Hollywood versus the Aliens. The motion picture industry's participation in UFO disinformation. And the motion picture industry certainly has done an awful lot on UFOs, aliens, all the rest of it every day. And then Friday night, Saturday morning, Dr. Robert White. Dr. White is a man, the surgeon, who removed monkeys' heads and put them on other bodies. Now, when I talked to him earlier today, Dr. White had another name for it. I think he called it a body transplant. But the matter of fact was that one monkey had went from one monkey to another. He is also a medical ethicist and a very interesting fellow. So that'll be Friday night, Saturday morning. I've been trying to get him on, as you probably know, for some time now. I'm looking forward to that program. Now listen to me. Last night, during the program, while the program was actually going on, and all day today, I continued to work on my studio cams until I got them right. And I finally have them right. Remember, I told you previously that I am a little berserk about this kind of thing. And until I get something working just the way I want it to work, I will either, one of two things will happen. I will either break what I am working on or fix it. Now, my odds have been getting better in recent years of fixing breaking, but I generally take it to that extreme. So I have my webcams working, and I really want your comments on them. Last night, of course, they were working in and out, and I didn't have them all set right, and I didn't have white balances set up the way I wanted. Tonight, I've got it. I'm telling you, folks, I've got it. So I want your comments on my studio cam now. How can you make me go up there? This is something that if you have a computer allows you to see the program in progress. About every minute or so, 45 seconds, whatever it is, a new shot is taken from one of three cameras in here and then streamed up to the net where it is disseminated worldwide. Along, I might add, with my show. You can get audio of my show. As a matter of fact, people with good computers can sit there and watch me and listen to the show on their computer at the same time. I'm not sure I approve of all this, mind you, or I think it's a good thing, but it sure is fun, and it sure is cutting-edge technology. So anyway, I labored long and hard to get these studio cams the way they are now, and I hope they look okay. I certainly am soliciting comments. So if you can, go to my website, www.artbell.com. That's ARTBELL.com. And scroll down to the bottom, you'll see Studio Webcam. Click on that and watch it for a little while and watch the camera sequence through and let me know how you think they do. I think at the moment we have one of the best webcams on the web anywhere, period. He says, honestly. And I really worked hard on it. As I said, I worked right through the program last night. That was an interesting program, wasn't it? Just shows to you how I seemingly love remaining out on a whim, slowly sawing myself into oblivion. But it was fun. Now, obviously, I didn't buy into a lot of what the alternatives had to say. But you've got to admit, she had zest. And there was something about her zest and her love of what she was saying and doing that just drove me to keep her on. And we had a lot of fun as the program went on. It got more and more interesting. He is a ball of fire. Oh, incidentally, we're also working, somebody came up with a really cool idea the other night. And that is for the hearing impaired, a scrolling text of what's being said on the show. Now, I would like to talk to somebody at CNN because CNN, both the main CNN and CNN Headline News, are using some kind of scrolling text, a closed caption, and I don't think it's somebody typing in, I'm not sure, but the kind of errors that you see imply to me that it is not being typed in. And I've got some voice recognition software that might work. And anybody else out there with ideas, by all means, get them to me or get them to my webmaster. You can send a Keith email up on the website. I'm really intrigued with the idea of having a streaming, even if it doesn't get it exactly right. Right? I can see there could be some terrible errors. Instead of clouds on the moon, it could read cows on the moon. And nevertheless, getting streaming text on the website, it seems to me to be a really good idea. And I think it would be neat anyway. So let us pursue that idea. Anybody out there, I know CNN must have some sort of technology, and I will try mine. And if you have something up your sleeve, then let us know. We like being innovators, and that certainly would be an innovation. Coast to Coast AM sure sounds great in the middle of the night, but you know, you don't have to be nocturnal to enjoy this amazing show. The Coast Insider is your key to a normal life. For 15 shows a day, you can wake up refreshed, knowing that last night's show is waiting for you with podcasting. Listen on your way to work and again on the way home. Or listen to one of over 1,000 archived shows from the past 3 years. As a member, you'll have access to our monthly live chat session with George Morey and special guests. The Coast Insider Club is a must-have feature for all Coast to Coast AM listeners. Visit coasttocoastam.com to sign up today. You'll sleep like a baby, knowing you'll never miss your favorite guests and topics ever again. Remember, a 1-year subscription comes out to only 15 cents a day. Sign up today at coasttocoastam.com. Coast to Coast AM. At this point, I'm not happy with the direction that the government is taking. I'm happy with the fact that Americans continue to wake up and stand up and do what they have to do, and shout, and scream, and blog. And I think that's critical. And I think that's what's going to save the republic. I think in the long run, as we go stuff, it's the people who will save us, and our country will be strong. Coast to Coast AM with you anywhere on your mobile phone. CoastToCoastAM.com can be conveniently accessed on your iPhone and most Android phones, which means that you are never without your Coast to Coast AM fix. If you're a Coast to Coast Insider subscriber, you can listen to the show live in the middle of the night or previous shows 24/7. Plus, you can browse all the great photos, videos, and news stories. Keeping up with Coast to Coast AM has never been easier with our Coast Insider service. Looking for the truth? You'll find it on Coast to Coast AM. Not everything is cut and dry, and I think people will look at events and say, who profits, who benefits? Then they back into it with their theories, which many people would see as truth. I mean, there's no question, there's the facts of the government that want to take guns off the street. Not just assault rifles, but pure guns. So when you get them out of the air in the can. In order to do that, they need tragedies and events like we had today in order to create a stimulus to get the legislature and people behind that in order to say, you know what, you're right, we don't need this, we don't need that. So I think when you look at that whole picture, as bizarre as it sounds, because you cannot say conspiracy at every event, but when you look at these events and say, hey, this is what they created in order to get people to think this way. The bottom line is people don't trust other people, and that's why they create all this. You're listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time, tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from March 4th, 1998. Okay, the news. What is the news? Puerto Rico is about to have another opportunity to become a state. The 51st state. Now, if I recall correctly, it was not that long ago that they voted down that golden opportunity. And now I think that I may be heard in Puerto Rico. If not, I know it's coming up soon. And I wonder how Puerto Ricans feel about this. I guess I could ask all of you, how do you feel about it? If you were now not a state, and you had an opportunity to vote to be a state, how would you vote? That's a really interesting question. I mean, there are states that look to possibly secede. Hawaii, Alaska, Texas. Although I've got a lot of news on Texas, and none of it's any good at all. Supreme Court says sexual harassment at work can be between members of the same sex. And this story comes from a fellow who was out on an oil rig with 3 other guys and was threatened with rape and all kinds of other things. And I think the court has ruled properly, of course. Sexual harassment is sexual harassment is sexual harassment, right? Now, listen to me very carefully when I tell you that there is something very, very bad going on in Texas, and not just Texas, but all across the country right now. I have received literally hundreds of faxes and email from people about this flesh-eating bacteria. Our KTRH, just here in Houston, reported at 3:03 a.m. yesterday morning that 5 more deaths have been attributed to the flesh-eating bacteria. 5 deaths today. Why doesn't this get more coverage? And tonight I am asking precisely the same question. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago that I did about an hour toward the end of the program, very tentatively, because I was getting so many faxes, so many emails saying, Art, this flesh-eating bacteria is here, meaning Iowa, Texas, Oklahoma, Connecticut. And you may recall that it scared the you-know-what out of everybody not too long ago. And then the medics, the doctors, the scientists came out and said, oh no, it's been with us forever, which I'm sure is true of strep. Not this particular variety, and that is, for some reason, it is converting into this thing that really eats you alive. Here's another one. 89 cases of strep in Texas. Run for your lives. That's what the person who sent me the story wrote at the top. Actually, it's a Reuters story. A bacteria that in some forms eats flesh has now killed 18 people in Texas in the past 3 months, according to the Texas Department of Health. It said 89 cases of Group A streptococcus have been reported in that state since December 1st. Here's another one. RI have the latest figures on the Strep A outbreak. In Texas, count is now 89, 18 dead. The latest, a 5-year-old boy in Houston. Now Houston is trying to reassure parents they really don't have that much to worry about. I've not heard of the latest news of the Leander near Austin child that has been diagnosed now with the Strep A. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I won't even bother to read all of them to you. I've got so many. And my question, I guess, there's two. One, why are we not receiving this as a major national news story from the major networks? Two, if the CDC is involved, which it would appear they are according to the calls I've been getting in the email, that should make it a national story. Why would a bacteria that lives in many of us, a pretty good percentage of us, suddenly turn against us in such a horrendous manner? And having turned against us, why are we not hearing about it in the media? Now, again, the scientists who said came on the air after the last big outbreak, it's no big deal. It is very rare. We are not having more cases. Remember that? Having more cases than usual. It's just the media is reporting them. I don't believe that for a second. I wonder if you do. If you'd been in receipt of the number of facts that I had, you would be screeching the way I am right now about it. Here's another gem. Federal germ detectives say they have come up against now a rare super strain of tuberculosis that spread with alarming ease through 2 rural counties in Tennessee and Kentucky from 1994 to 6. It struck 21 people. In the 8 previous years, each of the 2 counties had reported fewer than 1 case of TB in the total population of about 14,000. So I would say that the little things are beginning to turn against us. Why do you suppose that is occurring? Many of them are not new. It's like hysteria in North Carolina, in the estuaries, spread now into the ocean. It's not new. Hysteria was an organism, half animal, half plant, that sort of was always there at the bottom of the estuaries, and only when a certain level and certain type of pollution reached them did they activate and begin killing fish, bloody sores, all that sort of thing, attacking people. And now this story that is being very, very underreported, and I'm being kind here, this flesh-eating bacteria outbreak of this, what do you suppose is turning? Or why are the things that have always been here in Strep A, it's with us. But now it's turning on us. What have we